I literally, I don't know whether to laugh or cry right now.
Let me guess. The group chats.
My phone has been vibrating off the table all morning. People are absolutely losing their minds over this SpaceX stock crash. And I just want to type in all caps, "We told you so." I mean, we literally did an episode warning everyone not to FOMO into this.
Yeah, well, FOMO is a powerful drug, especially when a company comes public and raises, what was the final number? I think it was $86 billion dollars.
Right, and people just panicked and threw their kids' college funds at it on opening day because, we're going to Mars, baby.
Which is exactly the problem, because at a $2.5 trillion valuation, you're not just buying a romantic rocket company. You're buying well, I look at it as a three-headed monster.
Okay, define monster, because my friends definitely thought they were just buying spaceships.
Well, they are, but the space business itself, like actually sending payloads into space, it's only growing at about 7% a year.
Frank, stop. 7%? Are you serious right now?
I am.
That's like that's like grocery store growth. That's not tech growth.
Exactly. The real engine, the part that's actually, the crown jewel, is the telecom side, Starlink. That one is growing at an insane 96% a year.
Okay, wow. So they're basically a glorified internet provider. I can see why people miss that. So what's the third head of the monster?
The AI business, XAI, which is honestly, it's basically a financial black hole right now. It's only growing at 4%, and it is chewing up massive, massive amounts of capital.
See, this is exactly what drives me crazy. People are blindly buying this dip without even knowing how the company makes or loses its money. So today, we are ripping the Band-Aid off. We're going to break down the dirty truth behind this $2.5 trillion valuation and show you exactly what you're buying. I'm Lynn.
And I'm Frank. Welcome to Talk and Wonder. We create easy-to-understand whiteboard animations covering family finance, investing, passive income, and debt management.
Our goal is to break down complex financial topics, help you avoid traps like, buying hyped-up IPOs at the top, and build wealth together.
If you want to secure your future, you are exactly in the right place. So, looking at this three-headed monster, the first question we have to ask as investors is this actually a quality business?
Well, with a $2.5 trillion price tag, it better be flawless.
You would think so, but the reality of their profit margins is,
Non-existent?
well, not exactly non-existent, but it's extremely mixed. Look, on one hand, you have Starlink. That revenue is incredibly predictable because it's billed monthly.
It's like a utility, like how we pay our internet bill or, Amazon Prime. I mean, even if a recession hits, nobody is canceling their Wi-Fi.
Exactly. It's highly recession-proof. But, and here is the massive but that retail investors completely ignore, overall, on a company-wide basis, SpaceX actually reported an operating loss in 2025.
Okay, I need a second. Are you serious right now? They are worth $2.5 trillion and they are losing money?
Yep, they made an operating profit in 2024, but in 2025, they went backwards. And honestly, that's probably going to be the case for the foreseeable future.
But why? If Starlink is printing money every month, where's all that cash going?
It's being dumped straight into a furnace called XAI. They're spending hugely on building out their AI infrastructure. So even though their rockets and satellites are mature businesses, financially, you kind of have to judge this entire company as a Phase 1 startup.
A Phase 1 startup. Wow, that is... You know what that's like? That's like us having a perfectly good, high-paying job, but every single month we take our entire paycheck plus a massive bank loan to build a supercomputer in our basement?
That is actually an incredibly accurate analogy. Yes, the losses are, well, they're by design. They're choosing to burn cash to win the AI race.
Which is terrifying for a regular investor. I mean, if we did that basement project and failed, we'd lose the house.
Right? But the difference is, well, SpaceX has a safety net that we definitely don't. First of all, they just added $86 billion to their balance sheet from the IPO. And second, it's about what's coming in 2027.
Okay, what happens in 2027?
Their revenue is expected to take this just gigantic leap forward. I'm talking an 85% growth jump in a single year, mostly because they managed to turn that basement supercomputer into...
Into a massive rental property.
Basically, yes. In 2027, their revenue is expected to grow by 85%. And it's largely because of these two enormous contracts they just signed with Anthropic and Google.
Wait, so they built this giant AI infrastructure, and now they are renting out the processing power? That's literally like building a mega mansion and then renting out the guest house to your billionaire neighbors for pure profit.
Exactly. They are looking at billions in monthly annual income just from renting out those data centers, which is why when you look at their moat, their competitive advantage against rivals, it's fascinating right now.
I would assume their moat is just untouchable. I mean, who else is casually landing reusable rockets in their backyard?
Right. If we're just talking about the launch business, it's a ridiculously wide moat. Their cost advantage is, look, no one else can get infrastructure to space at a cost that even touches what SpaceX can do.
And Starlink has that brand recognition now, too.
Exactly. But remember the three-headed monster? When you zoom out and include XAI in the picture, you actually have to downgrade their overall moat to narrow.
Because the AI space is just a bloodbath. I mean, everyone is doing it.
Right? XAI is absolutely not the dominant leader right now, so the overall moat is narrow today. But the direction of the moat is what really matters, and it is rapidly widening.
Because of the cash. I mean, they just pulled in, $86 billion from the IPO?
Yup, $86 billion. Plus, they already had roughly, I think it was $24 billion in cash sitting on the balance sheet before they even went public.
God, so they are sitting on over $110 billion. That's not just a safety net, that's an absolute war chest.
It is. From a financial perspective, they have plenty of capital to fund those massive AI losses for years to come. But having an infinite bank account doesn't eliminate the business risks, because when your entire operation is this capital intensive and it all basically revolves around the decisions of
One guy, Elon.
Exactly, Elon Musk. Now, if you look at standard management ratings like Stock Simplifier, they actually give him a 3 out of 5.
A 3? Oh, people are going to absolutely riot in our comments for that.
I know. But the logic is, well, because SpaceX literally just became a public company, there is basically no public track record to go off of yet. And the employee ratings on places like Glassdoor are, I think, around a 3.8.
Which basically means it's a total grind. I mean, you don't get to Mars by working a 4-day week, right?
Right. But personally, I rate him a 5 out of 5. I mean, nobody has been better at producing wealth for shareholders over the last 20 years. Plus, he has about a 49% ownership stake. He has massive skin in the game.
So he basically has absolute control, which is, it's amazing when the stock is going up. But for a normal family investing their savings, that single point of failure is kind of terrifying.
It is, and that leads directly to the business risks here, which are, look, they are extreme. I'm talking a 1 out of 5 for safety.
Let me guess, it's not just the AI money pit.
No, that's a huge part of it. But there's also a massive customer concentration trap. A gigantic chunk of their revenue comes directly from the U.S. government.
Oof, okay, which is perfectly fine until, politics happen or government budgets get slashed.
Exactly. If they ever lost the U.S. government as a customer, it would be a catastrophic blow to shareholders. And it's not like they have the sandbox entirely to themselves anymore. You've got Blue Origin, Rocket Labs. They are pouring billions into the space economy, too.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We have a genius CEO, a $100 billion war chest, but we also have extreme government dependency, brutal competitors, and a massive AI cash furnace. How do you even put a price tag on a monster like that?
Well, the market certainly tried, and honestly, to call their current valuation expensive would be the understatement of
the century.
Yeah, the century. Look, because the stock literally just IPO'd, we don't have a long trading history to look at, right? So we have to look at the raw multiples. And right now, we are looking at a market cap of $2.5 trillion against a trailing revenue that isn't even $20 billion yet.
Wait, what? So what is the multiple on that?
It's over 100 times trailing sales and nearly 250 times their gross profit.
Okay, I need a second. 100 times sales? Frank, translate that into normal human money for me, because that just sounds completely unhinged.
Okay. Imagine we bought a rental house for, I don't know, $1 million. But the total rent we collect for the entire year, before we even pay any expenses, is only $10,000.
I would literally divorce you if you bought that house. It would take us 100 years just to get our purchase price back.
Exactly. And that's before you pay for maintenance, property taxes, or in SpaceX's case, exploding rockets and a giant AI furnace.
Oh my God. So why is anyone buying this stock right now? Are they just bad at math?
Because the market is pricing in sheer perfection. For today's valuation to make any sense down the road, SpaceX doesn't just need to do well. They have to compound their revenue at like 30 or 40% every single year for the next 10+ years.
Which basically means all three heads of the monster have to win. Starlink has to be a cash cow, the rockets have to be flawless, and the XAI business
Has to be an absolute home run. Now, is Elon capable of that? Sure, I would never bet against him. But at this valuation, you are paying for all of those future home runs today. There is zero room for error.
So there's absolutely no margin of safety. What if the AI thing flops? Or what if a rocket blows up on the pad?
Then the stock gets crushed. Now, to be fair, those nosebleed multiples are expected to drop rapidly by 2027 and 2028, mainly because of those Google and Anthropic deals kicking in. The forward multiples look slightly better, but it is still priced for absolute perfection.
So it's a great company, but a terrifying stock. Which brings us to the ultimate question for everyone watching this who is, staring at their brokerage app right now, sweating.
Wondering if they should hit the buy button right now.
Exactly. So give it to me straight, Frank. Do we buy this dip?
For our family, absolutely not. I give this valuation a 1 out of 5. It is just nosebleed expensive.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. We both agree it's a phenomenal company, right? I mean, the moat is widening, the growth is crazy, they have over $100 billion in cash.
True. As a fundamental, long-term investor, this is exactly the kind of business I want to own. But I won't pay just any price for it. Valuation matters, especially when you're managing family money.
Right, because you definitely don't want to be the one explaining to the kids why they have to take out student loans because, mommy and daddy bought a rocket company at 100 times sales.
Exactly. So what's the play? For me, SpaceX goes firmly on the watch list, not the buy list.
So we just do nothing. We just sit on our hands and wait?
We wait. I am perfectly content to let this company be public for a couple of quarters, let the stock swing wildly, let the emotions drain out of the market.
Let the AI hype cool down a bit and see what actually happens with those Google contracts.
Right. Let's see some actual public earnings reports before we take a hard look at adding it to our portfolio.
Which is the boring, sensible answer, but it's the one that lets us actually sleep at night. Oh, hang on, my phone is vibrating again.
Groan. Let me guess. The group chat is panicking again?
Worse, somebody just asked if they should take out a personal loan to, quote, average down while the stock is crashing today.
Oh my God. Please tell me you were going to stop them before they...